was a manufacturing and engineering company. The company was founded in 1758, but on August 31st, 2021, the company was merged into Traton. So, what went wrong? How was it game over for man? Well, let's find out. Foundation. Man traces his origins back to 1758, when the St. Anthony Iron Works commenced operation in Oberhausen as the first heavy industry enterprise in the Ruhr region. In 1808, the three ironworks, St. Anthony, Gute Hoffnung, which in English which means Good Hope, and Neue Essen, which in English translates to New Forges, merged to form the Hunting Workschaft und Hoffnung Jacobi, in English, which means Jacobi Iron and Steel Works Union and Trading Company, Oberhausen, which was later renamed to Gute Nachtschule, GHH. In 1840, German engineer Ludwig Sander founded in Augsburg the first predecessor enterprise of man in southern Germany, the Sandersche Maschinenfabrik. It firstly became the C. Rheinischen Maschinenfabrik, which was named after the pioneer of printing machines Karl August Reichenbach, and later on the Maschinenfabrik Augsburg. The brand Studeschau Brockenbau AG Manwerk Guvesburg was founded when the company in 1859 was awarded the contract for the construction of the railway bridge over the Rhine and Main. In 1898, the company's Maschinenbau AG Nürnberg, founded in 1841, and Maschinenfabrik Augsburg AG, founded in 1840, merged to form Verenigte Maschinenfabrik Augsburg und Maschinenbaugenschaft Nürnberg AG Augsburg, United Machine Works Augsburg and Nürnberg Ltd. In 1908, the company was renamed Maschinenfabrik Augsburg Nürnberg AG, or in short, MAN. While the focus initially remained on ore mining and iron production in the Ruhr region, mechanical engineering became the dominating branch of the business in Augsburg and Nuremberg. Under the direction of Heinrich von Buss, Maschinenfabrik Augsburg grew from a medium-sized business of 400 employees into a major enterprise with a workforce of 12,000 by 1913. Locomotion, propulsion, and steel building were the big components of this phase. The early predecessors of man were responsible for numerous technological innovations. The success of the early man entrepreneurs and engineers, such as Heinrich Gerber, was based on a great openness towards new technologies. They constructed the Wuppertal monorail, Wuppertaler Schwebebahn, and the first spectacular steel bridges, such as they constructed the Wuppertal monorail, Wuppertaler Schwebebahn, and the first spectacular steel bridges, such as the Grosse Haller Brücke in Munich and in 1857, and the Munkenstaan Railway Bridge between 1893 and 1897. The invention of the rotary printing press allowed the copyist printing of books and newspapers, and since 1893, Rudolf Diesel puzzled for 4 years with future man engineers in a laboratory in Augsburg until his first diesel engine was completed and fully functional. During 1921, the majority of man was taken over by the Gutenhangschaft Achtenwellen für Bergbau und Huntenbergbau Stadtrat GHH, founded in 1873. Through well-directed equities and acquisitions of processing industries, e.g. Deutsche Werft in 1918, Ferrostahl in 1921, Duckendorfer Werft and Usenbau in 1924, man advanced to a nationwide operating enterprise with a workforce of 52,000 by 1921. Man also produced tractors by the name MAN Diesel from 1938 to 1962. The decision for tractor production was made due to increasing demand from Eastern Germany, crisis, and World War II. At the same time, the GHH's economic situation worsened. The causes for this were, among others, the reparations after World War I, the occupation of the Ruhr region, and the world economic crisis. In only 2 years, the number of MAN employees sank from 14,000 in 1929 and 1930 to 7,400 in 1931 and 1932. While the civil business was largely collapsing, the military business increased with the armament under the National Socialist regime. GHHH MAN Enterprises supplied finished tanks, diesel engines, and submarines and surface craft and cylinders for projectiles and artillery of every description. Although MAN produced experimental diesel engines for tanks, Panzer's Maybach enjoyed a de facto monopoly on the design and manufacture of all tank and half-track engines, which were water-cooled, four-stroke gasoline motors. No diesel engines were installed in production armored fighting vehicles during the war. MAN also produced gun parts including the Massacabra Nae Ka rifle bolts. MAN's Waffenamt code was WA53 and Ordnance code was COC. The MAN Works in Augsburg, which produced diesel engines for U-boats and surface craft, and the MAN Works in Nuremberg, which built 40% of Germany's Panther tanks, were often the target of massive Allied bombing attacks during World War II. Post-war period. After the end of World War II, the Allies split up the GHH group, a vertical integration in which mining, iron, and steel production are consolidated, was not allowed anymore. The Gutenhofen-Nagscha, together with the MAN firms of southern Germany, therefore concentrated on engineering, plant construction, commercial vehicles, and printing machines. This process has been supported by strategic acquisitions and dispositions. One of the most important was the takeover of the truck and bus division of the commercial vehicles manufacturer Busing in 1971, the disposition of the shares of the shipyard Deutsche Werft in 1966 and 1967, the acquisition of the printing machine producer Faber and Schuyler, as well as its fusion to MAN Roland Druckermann AG in 1979. In 1980, MAN took control of Burmeister and Wain, the Danish company that had been a world leader in design and construction of large diesel engines for large ships. In 1982 and 1983, the Gutenhofen plunged into deep corporate crisis. The enterprise suffered from the late effects of the second oil crisis and bad economic situation. This was particularly displayed by the dramatic downturn of the commercial vehicle sales figures. Besides external factors, the chief cause of these problems were the obsolete company structure with extensive cross-subsidization between the divisions. At this time, the former director of GHHH presented a reclamation concept that envisioned a complete consolidation of the subsidiary with the holding company. This concept encountered great resistance with GHH's major shareholder Allianz AG and Commerzbank. The media speculated about a Bavarian conspiracy against the management in Oberhausen. In 1986, with Klaus Gotte, the group got a new company structure and became a contractual group with an economically independent division at several locations. This was also attended by the transferring of the MAN headquarters from Oberhausen to Munich, and by the new company name MAN AG. Rudolf Ruprecht repelled a takeover attempt in 2003. Furthermore, the disposition of the 50% share of the SMS group and the strengthening of the turbomachinery division through the takeover of the Sulzer Turbo induced MAN's focusing process. In 2006, MAN entered into an agreement with Indian company Force Motors to establish a 50-50 joint venture for the production of trucks and buses in India for the domestic and export markets. The joint venture established a truck manufacturing plant in Pithampur, Madhya Pradesh, and launched its first truck for the Indian market in 2007. At the end of 2011, MAN brought out the stake of its Indian partner, and its operations in India became a wholly owned subsidiary of MAN in early 2012. MAN ended production and sales in India and sold the Pithampur plant back to Force Motors in 2018. In September 2006, MAN produced an offer for the takeover of the Swedish competitor Scania AB. The European Commission approved the takeover on December 14th. Nevertheless, MAN voluntarily withdrew the offer on January 23, 2007, after Scania's major shareholders Volkswagen AG and the influential Wallenberg family had declined the offer. On December 24, 2008, MAN published to possess further stock options of Scania and to therefore maintain more than 20% of the voting rights. As of October 2019, MAN SE still owns 17.37% of the voting rights in Scania, with the remainder of Scania being directly owned by Volkswagen Group's heavy commercial vehicle subsidiary Traton SE. In 2008, the MAN Group celebrated its 250th anniversary with numerous events, such as expositions in several museums, a vintage car tour with the motto, MAN on the road again, and a great anniversary gala. At the beginning of December 2008, MAN took over Volkswagen Brazilian truck and bus operation, Volkswagen Caminhões e Ônibus, putting the division under the control of MAN Latin America. Therewith, MAN now is a market leader in Brazil, with a market share of 30%. Since May 2009, the group is incorporated as European Corporation MAN SE. In July 2009, MAN published to merge with the two divisions, MAN Turbo and MAN Diesel, into one business area called Power Engineering. In addition, the group contracted a strategic partnership with Chinese truck manufacturer Sinotruk, purchasing 25% plus one share of the company. In the course of this focusing process, many smaller subsidiaries and divisions have been sold. In 2009, investigators of the Munich Prosecutor's Office uncovered a corruption affair in which MAN had been bribing business partners and governments in over 20 countries from 2001 to 2007 to get large orders for buses and trucks. MAN CEO Håkan Samuelsson and other board members had to resign. The board of directors was appointed Dr. Ing. Georg Pacha-Rayahofen, the former CEO of MAN Diesel, as successor. On December 17, 2009, Pacha-Rayahofen was assigned as speaker on the board and CEO of MAN SE by the board of directors. Takeover by Volkswagen. In July 2011, Volkswagen AG acquired a 55.9% voting stake and 55.9% voting stake and a 53.7% of the share capital in MAN SE. Pending regulatory approval, Volkswagen planned to merge MAN and Scania AB to create Europe's largest truck maker. The combined trucks group is planning to save about 400 million euros per year, mainly by bundling procurement. Regulatory approval was granted and the takeover was completed in November 2011. In April 2012, MAN SE announced that Volkswagen had increased its interest to a 73.0% voting stake and a 71.08% of the share capital. On June 6, 2012, Volkswagen AG announced that it had increased its share of voting rights in MAN SE to 75.03%, paving the way for a domination agreement to be put in place. From January 2019, MAN's Power Engineering division, made up of MAN Energy Solutions, formerly MAN Diesel and Turbo, and MAN SE 76% stake in Renk AG, were sold to Volkswagen Group, leaving MAN SE as the holding company for commercial vehicle units, MAN Truck and Bus, and MAN Latin America under the responsibility of Volkswagen subsidiary Traton SE. In March 2019, MAN SE announced that 94.36% of its shares were held by Traton. In February 2020, Traton announced that it intends to merge MAN SE with Traton to simplify the latter's overall structure. As a result of the merger, MAN Truck and Bus, Scania AB, and Volkswagen Caminhões e Ônibus will become wholly owned direct subsidiaries of Traton. In September 2020, the company announced that it will be cutting over 9,500 job positions at its MAN truck and bus division as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic economic effects. The company made the move to generate 1.8 billion euros of cost savings by 2023. And there is a history of MAN. So what went wrong? How was it game over for MAN? Well, if you look at it this way, in 2008, they made a deal with Volkswagen, and ever since they made that deal with Volkswagen, Traton was their biggest partner at that time, and what happened is, as the years progressed, Traton just continued to slowly merge with Traton, started to slowly, like every single day, to intend its potential merger with MAN, which actually did happen. And that's what happened, and that's how it was game over for MAN. But anyways, with all that being said, I think that's where I'm going to end off this video. If you guys happen to enjoy this video, please make sure you hit the like button. And also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel because I do videos every day. And also, don't forget to subscribe to my other two channels as well. It's on Dan Walkthroughs and Dance Plays. And until then, I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye!